looks like trouble.
Capital T!
Together, we've got this!
Denied! It's go time!
They really don't give up, do they?
Now you'll learn!
Dance on the wind!
Double demon
It's
fang!
mine.
You picked the wrong fighter!
This one's mine.
I'm on it! I can carve through armor! Deity!
Strike!
I'll face you!
Freezing storm.
I'm on it!
Double demon fang! Take this! Damn it! Two back!
I'm on it!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Strike! Double demon fang!
Can't get out of this.
It's over! Orochi Fury!
Ready.
Talon Hurricane!
Dance on the wind.
I'm ready!
Frozen.
Hammer!
Here.
My turn.
Again. Mega
Rising
Ray.
Wyvern! Here I come! It's over! Now! Tear!
Resonate with
Use
the
the healing
earth! Leave the
arsenal.
charges to me!
Double demon fang! It's on!
Rending you
Not on
apart!
my watch.
Burn in hell!
Bloody howling!
Take this!
Here's the evil.
You're finished!
Hurricane!
Freeze
Mirage!
laser.
Orochi Fury!
Do it, Kisara. Frozen.
Hammer!
My turn.
Cyan instant.
Elusive
Rising
deity.
Wyvern!
Eagle Ray! I'll
Mirage!
face you!
Primed and ready. That'll bring you down.
Now you see what I can do!
You're mine! Rising Wyvern! It's over! Mirage!
Eat
It's
this!
over!
I'll face you!
You're
Prepare to
mine!
be sealed!
It's over!
I'll finish you
Double
here and
demon
now!
fang!
Do it!
Kisara. All yours, Kisara.
I'm reaching my limit, you guys.
Damn. Guess we better be extra careful.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Raging Lunar Storm!
Time to cross blade!
Here! Confiscated!
Burn!
No further.
Watch this!
Take this! Double demon fang!
Searing
I'll
flame!
grind you with a shot! I'm on it!
Searing flame!
Reload!
Damn it!
The abyss will
I'm all
come.
stuffed
Clear
up!
for us.
Dark!
Annihilation! Mega ray! I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara!
Used too much.
This one's mine!
Let us take to the
That'll
fray.
bring you down!
Eat this! Shattering! That freaking
Reflect on
does
thy
it!
Sins. They smite with
Mega ray!
demon fang!
Lightning!
You're
Downfall!
mine!
Mega ray!
Mirage!
Searing flame!
Rending you apart!
Try harder! Not a chance!
Bloody
This
howling!
one's all mine! Burn in hell!
I'm all ready to go!
I'm just getting started!
Double
Far
demon!
enough! Elusive deity! Eat this! Rotating power driver!
Searing flame!
Blow away!
Double demon fang!
Snake of the abyss.
Prepare to be sealed! Talon
Can't get out of
Hurricane!
this.
Gravitas field!
I'll watch it!
Dance on the wind.
Double demon fang!
Tempest! Eat this! I'll grind you into dust! Talon Hurricane! Elusive deity!
Try harder! Not a chance! Strike! This one's all mine! It's over! Eat dirt!
Annihilation! This
Here
one's
I
mine!
come!
They
Where
smite
are
with
you
blackened
going?
blade.
Shattering up pieces!
You're mine!
Attack time!
You're finished!
Eat this! That's the
Our arms are being interrupted.
Downfall! I'm out of ammo!
Heal!
I'm all stuffed up!
Strike! Double demon fang!
Annihilation!
I'll face
Mega
you!
ray!
Here I come!
Now you see what I can do! I'm just
Not
getting
on my
started!
watch!
Tempest!
Double demon fang!
Elusive
Hurricane!
deity! Rotating pile driver!
Freezing storm! Tornado!
Take this! You're finished!
Cyan in! Back into the...
Double
No
demon
further.
Fang! You're finished!
Serpent knuckle!
No escape!
None
Here I
down.
come!
Talon
Mirage!
Bathed in blood. Rending you
Here I
apart.
come!
Bloody howling.
Mega Ray!
If it's in the
You're
sky,
mine!
it's mine.
Eat dirt!
I'm on top.
That'll bring you down.
Talon
Here I
Hurricane!
come!
Snake of the abyssal deep. Clear for us.
Here I come!
One more.
It's over!
Searing Slither.
Try harder! Here I come!
I'm on it.
Arc Seal.
Grind you into dust.
You're mine! It's too much!
I'm on it.
Mega Ray!
Victory!
Bestow the mystic mercy.
Attack time!
I'll smash you.
Glacial Spear.
No! Can't end here!
Don't leave me. I'll bring you back from death.
Rending you a bloody howling.
Resuscitate.
Your
Here's
incantation
a healing
ruined.
arm.
I owe you.
What?
Try harder!
Far enough!
Searing
Elusive deity. It's
You're mine!
tornado drop.
Flare
No
tornado.
further.
Mirage!
Strike.
Strike!
Elusive
Double
deity.
demon fang!
Lightning.
Rotating pile driver.
Searing flame.
Here I come!
Science, I'm ready.
You're finished! Double
Hurricane.
demon fang!
That'll bring you down.
This one's all mine!
Veneration light.
Glacial Spear.
You're mine.
Here's Evo.
Eat dirt!
Don't suffer and reflect on that.
Take it!
They smite
You're
with black and
finished! Double
blade.
demon fang!
None shall escape.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here goes.
Raging Lunar Storm!
Downfall. Searing flame. Confiscated. Reload.
Double demon...
Take
Hit.
What armor won't save you?
Damn it. Out of ammo. Back into the fray. Mega Ray.
Double demon fang!
deity.
Orochi's fury!
Rotating pile driver!
Rising
Soaring
light!
blast.
Through it!
You're done!
First strike!
Can you take it? Dance on the wind!
Now! It's on!
Mega
You picked the wrong fight!
Elusive
Double demon
deity.
fang!
Talon Hurricane! Can't get out of this!
Orochi's fury!
Flame. Reload.
Seismic rupture!
Do it.
Dueling! In an instant! Impact Cross!
Fighting in this state isn't advisable.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Try harder! Not a chance!
Reflect on that.
Rising light!
They
Here I
smite
come!
These lanes
Blade.
run
Storms
let the
around us.
marksman handle this. I never miss.
Try harder! Now! Here I...
Denied!
Move!
Here
I'll
goes.
grind you into dust.
Searing flame.
Elusive deity.
Mirage!
Leave the ensnaring to
Mega
me.
Ray.
Yeah,
and
pummel it to me. Clear for us.
You picked the wrong fight!
Armor won't save you.
Not in your dreams.
You're finished! Double
Got
demon!
it instant.
Can't move!
Elusive deity. Rotating power.
Mega Ray.
Raging Lunar Storm.
Judgment spin!
Blow away.
Time to shine!
A freezing storm. Ice
Elusive
tornado.
deity. Rotating pile driver.
This one's mine!
These fists have got your name on them.
Here I go. I'm only getting
Raging
started.
Lunar Storm.
Annihilation. Searing flame. Reload.
Dance on the wind.
Switch to offense!
Snake of the abyssal deep.
Glacial
Clear
Spear.
for us a
Pierce
path.
Evil.
Aqua
Freeze
Serpent.
Lancer.
Their arts were interrupted!
Art Sealed.
I'll grind you into
Glacial
dust.
Spear. Pierce
Tiger
Evil.
Blade! Your arms! Tempest! Take field! Here goes! Lightning! Down! This one's mine!
Crescent flash!
Lightning! Falling storm! I'm out of ammo!
Gales, carry it
Watch it! This one's mine!
Take it!
I'm gone!
Dance on the wind! A scream bathed in
Here's
blood.
This one's
Here's
mine!
a dance in the wind!
This one's here! Ready to go!
Resonate with the earth!
Watch and
Stalagmite! Scream
Annihilation!
bathed in blood.
Mega Raging Falling
bloody
Storm!
howling.
Raging Cascade! Sighted! Into the shadows! I won't give up!
With the earth!
You have to hold on!
No further!
Confiscated!
Armor won't save you!
This one's
I'll
mine!
face you!
This one's mine!
A scream bathed in
Think
blood.
with Falling Storm!
Rending you a bloody howling! Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Divine Strength!
Another incantation ruined! Eat this! Stalagmite! I'm on it! Blood! Rending you a bloody howling! I'm on
Dance in the wind!
Resonate with the earth! It's you! Stalagmite! First strike!
It's in your hands now.
Not my finest.
Look sharp! One more! Look sharp!
My pride was my downfall.
Snake of the abyssal deep, clear for us a path!
Look sharp! That's
Reflect
it!
on thy sins.
Flaming
They
meaty!
smite
I don't
with
have much
blackened
left!
blade.
I'm ready to go!
Sometimes a retreat is the best strategy.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
I couldn't make it in time.
Ready to go!
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
For my lord!
Chase fruitless endeavors. This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imeris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dahna. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to. She looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imeris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dahna's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zeugles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a Master Core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zeugles, then we get some answers.
Raging hit a word! Hurt both!
Radiant Pierce!
Bestow thy
Not
mystic
in your
mercy!
dreams!
Swallow
Glacier
Try harder!
Here's the
My
evil!
turn! He who prepares is free from regret. I'll run you through!
The flame
Can you
inside
take it? Yours! Time to be let free!
Light!
Not today!
Begin! Take this!
I'm out of
No
ammo!
escape!
Tempest!
I'm all
All
stuffed up!
fit elusive
Here
deity!
now!
Rotating pile driver!
Double demon
Soaring
fang!
blast!
Into the shadows!
Bestow thy mystic mercy!
Lightning!
Double demon fang!
I can carve
freezing
through
storm!
armor!
Rising Wyvern!
That's enough! Elusive deity! Blow away! Rotating pile driver!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Talon
You're mine!
Glacial
Elusive
deity!
Rising Wyvern! Take this! You're
Now
finished!
I'm in the
Where are
groove!
you going?
Rotating pile, take this! Talon storm!
Lightning! Downfall!
Talon hurricane!
Not on my watch!
Base
Radiant
blood,
Pierce!
rending you apart! Bloody howl!
You're finished!
Resonate with the
Double
earth!
demon fang!
Serpent knuckle! Tempest!
Burn in hell!
Elusive deity!
Strike!
Soaring blast!
Double demon fang! Rising
I'll face
Wyvern!
you! I'm on it!
You're finished!
Talon hurricane! Resonate with the earth!
Nothing gets
Bestow
by
thy
freezing
mystic
storm!
mercy.
No escape!
Very
tornado!
dare! Allow me to help you. Ready and ready! Rage
I'll
with your
run you
sword!
Here's the evil!
Begin!
Double
Seismic
demon
rupture!
fang! Rising Wyvern!
Tempest engulfs you!
Cyan
It's over!
instant! I'm all
Eat
stuffed
the
up!
abyssal deep! Now you see what I can
Here
do!
go! Annihilation!
Denied!
Aqua Serpent! Take this!
Double demon fang! Rising Wyvern!
This one's mine!
Take this! It's over!
Lightning!
Begin
Well done!
All good
Here's
things
a healing
come to
arc!
an end.
Here,
That's the way!
First aid!
Not today!
Talon hurricane! Rending you
freezing
apart!
Double demon
Bloody
fang!
howling!
Rising Wyvern!
Wyvern! Take this!
Ice tornado!
It's over!
Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
Another incantation ruined.
Freeze Lancer!
I'm on a roll now! Rising Wyvern! Try harder! Not a chance!
Elusive deity!
I'm not done!
Rotating
Rising Wyvern!
Ready to go!
Overdrive!
I'll face you!
Mega Ray!
You'll find no mercy!
Annihilation!
Snake of the abyssal deep!
Strike! Rising Wyvern!
Behold! The Earth's pulse! Tectonic fission! Benediction light.
Try harder! My turn!
I'll smash you!
Rising Wyvern!
Sighted! And again!
It's over!
Radiant Spear!
The art of being interrupted.
Take
Here's a
this!
healing art!
You're finished!
First aid! This one's mine!
Damn!
Bloody
Where are you going? Here's a healing art! First aid!
Damn! Burn in hell!
Searing
Double
Flame!
Demon
Reload!
Fang!
Rotating pile
Take
Fire
it!
instant! I'm
I'm
all
not
stopped
done!
up! Mega Ray!
Rising
I'll
Wyvern!
face you no further.
Here I come! Talon Hurricane!
Resonate with the Earth.
Talon Hurricane!
Bathed in blood.
Art Seal! Here I go! It's weakened!
Bloody
This ends now!
Searing Flame!
I'll run you through!
Giant
You're
instant!
finished!
Watch and weep!
I'm on it! I'm on it! Take it! Talon Hurricane! Rising Wyvern!
Elusive deity.
Talon
Mega Ray!
Pounce
Annihilation!
Double Demon
Mega
Fang!
Ray!
Begin. I can carve through armor. Grind you to dust.
Burn in hell!
Crescent flash.
This one's mine!
You're mine! Rising Wyvern!
Bestowed by
Escape!
None
mercy.
shall escape my
Hurricane!
sight!
You're finished!
I owe you. Ray!
Double Demon Fang!
There! Help!
Eat this! Rising Wyvern!
I'll face you.
No escape!
Rotating pile driver.
Talon Hurricane!
Benediction light.
Ready to go! Do it! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Resonate with the Earth.
Searing Flame! Confiscated! Reload! Far enough!
Bathed in blood. Rending
With
you
this!
apart. It's time.
Rising Wyvern!
No further.
Reload!
Mirage! You're mine!
Freeze that move!
Here comes the big one!
None shall
Flame
escape
inside
my
it
sight!
needs to be let free!
Radiant
Rending you a
Pierce!
bloody
Out
high.
of air, back into the fray! Annihilation!
Eat dirt!
Mega Ray!
Come and get it!
What's
What's
this? Dance on the wind. Scream, bathed
Searing
in blood.
Flame! Reload!
Double Demon Fang!
Smash you!
Into the
Take this!
shadows!
Swallow
Giant
dance!
in! I'm all stopped up! Annihilation! Where are you going?
I owe you one.
Mega
Try
Ray!
harder! My turn!
Eat this!
Try harder! My turn!
Reload! Right! First aid!
Swallow dance!
Mega Ray! Back into the fray!
Confiscated.
Crescent flash!
That's the spot. Snake
Rising Wyvern!
It's time.
Lewis!
Swallow
dance!
dance!
No further.
Try harder! Now! You're mine!
Annihilation!
Can you take
Here
it?
I come!
Take this.
Annihilation!
Eat this! Try harder! Now! You're mine! Rising Wyvern!
Instant!
It's over!
I really owe you one.
Lightning!
The flame
Downpour!
inside me yearns to be let free!
It's over!
I'll grind you
Graviton!
into dust.
Burn in hell! Swallow dance! I'll smash you!
Lightning!
I'll grind you into dust.
Double Demon Fang! Here I come!
None shall escape. This one's mine.
Rising Wyvern!
I never miss.
Here I come!
Now I'm in the
It's
groove.
over! I'm on it! Talon Hurricane!
Annihilation!
Take this!
The abyssal deep. Clear
Here
for us a
goes.
path.
I'm on it! Take this!
Here's a healing art.
Rising Wyvern! Talon Storm!
Lightning! Downpour!
Prepare to be healed.
Outward and weak.
Seismic rupture. In a bind.
Annihilation!
Double Demon Fang!
Reload!
Seismic rupture.
Take this!
Crescent flash.
Giant! I'm all stopped
Bestowed
up.
by
Rising
no
Wyvern!
mercy.
Blue escape!
Annihilation!
I've used too much.
Dance! The flame inside me
Allow me to
yearns
help
to
you.
be let free! I'm on it! Hurricane! Eat dirt!
Raging lunar storm.
Double Demon Fang!
Anything in armor is all mine.
Annihilation!
Elusive deity.
Mega Ray!
Rotating pile driver.
Primed and one's mine!
I'll smash you! Reflect on thy
Cyan
sins.
is back into the fray! Mega Ray! Annihilate!
My natural defenses are fading. I'm a sitting duck!
Retreat from this battle.
Retreat?
Hold nothing back!
Never!
Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Ready to go!
Freaking does it! Double Demon Fang!
They smut here.
Double Demon Fang!
Fiery Hurricane! Reload!
Can't get out of this!
Here, let me help.
Double Demon!
Ready! First aid!
Raging Luna Storm!
Try harder!
Mother
Breathe
flame
in
inside
storm.
me yearns to be let free!
Easter!
Searing Flame! Reload!
Double Demon Fang!
Now back into the fray! Mega Ray!
Russia!
Lightning!
Take this!
Not in his dreams! Far enough! There! Got you! Swallow this! Here! None shall escape my judgment!
Take this! Now you see what I can do!
Try
to
harder.
deity!
That'll bring you down!
Now! Here I come! Soaring
Mega
Blast!
Ray! Lightning!
Take this!
Downfall! I'm out
Here
of
comes
ammo.
something big!
Back and try to dodge!
Try harder! Not a chance!
Annihilation!
Hey.
Lightning!
Piss off!
Benediction light.
Burn!
Lightning! Downfall!
Watch it!
There! Got you!
Take this!
Take this!
No
Radiant
escape!
look here!
Raging Luna Storm!
First aid!
Green bathed in blood.
I'm on it! You're mine! Rising Viper!
Swallow this!
Try harder! Not a chance!
I want it!
Eat this! Talon
Here's
Hurricane!
the healing art! Ready! First aid! Not in your dreams! Far
Resonate
enough.
with the earth!
Here I come!
Searing flame!
bathed in blood.
Freezing
you
out
up
of
bloody
ammo!
Dark Double Demon Fang!
Eat dirt! Where are you going?
Try harder! Swallow! Ready and raring! It's wide open! Smash you!
Won't escape
Double
me!
Demon Fang!
And you take it, I'll grind you into dust!
Piss
Radiant
off!
light! Searing flame! Reload!
Burn! Talon Hurricane! Double Demon
Into the
Fang!
shadows!
Fairy circle!
Thanks!
Lightning!
Eat this!
Downfall!
I'm on it!
There!
Talon Hurricane!
Cyan is back into the fray! Mega Ray!
I'm on it!
Benediction
Talon
light!
Hurricane! Heal!
Searing
You're
flame!
mine!
Reload!
First strike!
Mega
Double
Ray!
Demon Fang!
Annihilation!
freaking
Ready!
does it!
Mega! Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almeidrea. As for Tarnagin, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shionne's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shionne's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shionne's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Shionne and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Dahnan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time. in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Are you just going to keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now. Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Alphen. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
this place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got... to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen the Sovereign was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Dahnan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Xion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Xion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Xion at the same time!
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Xion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Xion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.